Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. What a beautiful drop today. Awesome, awesome drop. We planned this. We knew it was coming. July 17th video. I did it for everybody. Important market video was the name of it. And, we're right on track. Right on track. We knew this was coming, and it's been a beautiful ride. We'll take a look at everything in detail in just a minute here. We are closing this month out with a nice red candle here, and we are under the previous month. So a very large drop here. For the month itself. Look, this is a monthly, just so everybody knows. And we do have the middle Bollinger Band over here at 15,494. There is potential for us to get down there on this pullback. So if you can see here, we did it here. We did the middle Bollinger Band here. But other than that, right now it needs it. It's had a big move to the upside, and we are due for some correction. Nothing huge, but we're still in an uptrend. There's no downtrend. Let's move it over to a weekly. Let's break this down a little bit more. Taking a look at the weekly, we have closed this week out under the middle Bollinger Band. And that's very bearish, but at the same time, you want to watch your relative strength index. So what potentially could happen is we could have a double bottom come in here, and we could start pushing higher, just like we did here, double bottom, and then this one actually came down on the weekly and touched the 50-day moving average and moved back up. Just follow old patterns. You could be in live chat with us too, and it's more fun that way because we're trading everything along with this, especially the big movers, especially in options. We're having a good time. So join us anytime. So the daily, right? So the daily, we said, this is going to break the middle Bollinger Band, which it did. And after I broke the middle Bollinger Band, it's going to be very bearish, and apparently that took place, and it's doing very well. I said if we didn't hold the 50-day moving average, we are going to come down to the 100-day moving average and follow the old patterns over here, coming down to the 100. But we went right through that. Relative strength index is at 34. Potentially what could take place is we can come down to this 13,318. And if you listen to the video, that's pretty much what I said. This time it's going to be a little bit bigger, little bit bigger of a reset, and that's what's happening. Now, the way it looks right now, if we're going to follow the same pattern as this one and this one, we are going to come down and mess with the 200-day moving average, get a little bit under it, consolidate, and then pop back up again. What we're waiting for is this hammer. You can see a little hammer right here. You get a little hammer right here. Anytime these bounces, or you get a solid double bottom. So jobs tomorrow will be key for this one. I do think tomorrow will be the low, and then we bounce after that, just due to the relative strength index. It's that simple. It's basically what we work off of. There was a lot of buying into SPY in the last 15 minutes, and I'll explain that last hour, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But look for this to maybe get that one more sell-off and then start coming up. Look, here we are, June to July. You had the sell-off, towards the end. Every month is higher, and then they sell it off. But this one was just a bigger sell-off. There was more news out there that they can mess with and use, which really none of it affects us. It's pretty much a guessing game. It's everything that's out there. But whatever the case may be, the market's bloated and needed a reset. A nice reset is going to be very lucrative for our members that are in the chat room with us, because we have a list arm length long that we're watching, and we are ready to enter and make some huge gains. So, all right, let's take a look at the SPY. Because the SPY was pretty much our definite telltale indicator that I was talking about. So here's what I said. Here's our double top right here, and this is when I said, in this area we got to stop watching. We really need to watch for these puts and start collecting them for the end of the month or next month, August. And it really worked out. And the target was going to be this gap fill right here. We get a little gap on SPY right here, and that's still my target, 190.46. Okay, we do have a lower target, but I think we'll worry about that later. But you can see the massive selling that came into this day really pushed this down, became very, very lucrative for the puts on the option side. Really was a great move to the downside, and we're not done yet. There's really no support in here unless we have a double bottom for some strange reason right here. But this is our target. It's that simple. The target is going to be 190.43, and then we'll take starter positions for calls on many different stocks, not just this one, on many different stocks. So we have to keep an eye on SPY. But I wanted to show you the 15-minute chart real quick, just so you could see. If you're watching this stuff during the day, you could pretty much plan what could happen potentially. But let's get this over here. All right, so the 15-minute chart, if you see the last hour, today. I'm sorry, a 60-minute chart I want to look at. Not that one. All right. So the 60-minute chart, you can see our biggest candle of the day that was selling was the last hour. Okay. I mean, it was massive, more than any of these today. It doubled more than any of these today, and these were dropping, like a bat out of hell. All right. Well, what this indicates to me, and seeing how oversold we are, potentially we could get a head fake bounce tomorrow up to the 194.24 and then resume selling off, or even up here a little bit. I don't think we're going to come up and get this 15-minute gap here, which is at 196. I don't think we're going to do that tomorrow. I think that'll be our next upside target. Okay, all gaps get filled. As you can see, 200-day was hit here, and then we came up and closed this gap right here. There's a gap right here. Okay, so I think we're going to go lower first, but the upside play that we're going to have is we're going to manage the 196.60 after we hit that bottom at 190. All right, so we could get the dead cat bounce tomorrow. I think we could pull up to the 194. These people are going to sell some of their shares, then they're going to sell them more into this. So there was a huge collection going on at the end. Okay, they're going to make some money on it, and they're going to churn it all out. They're going to head fake the market, and then they're going to pull it back down again. So these guys have a big game going on, and we want to be part of it. That's that simple. So we know what's going on. In live chat, we're managing it all day long. So it's very fun to be in there and make some serious money. Take a look at the NAS. NAS, the same thing. It's just been choppy, but look at these gaps. Gaps get filled. So you had a gap here when it popped up. All right, the gap came down and got filled. All right, so this one's gonna get filled to the upside, but where is it gonna stop? All right, so it's under the 200 now, and it's dropped pretty low here. But if you notice right here, you're gonna do this. You could be doing the same thing. All right, you could be bouncing off of this level right here, the 351. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, because you have your double bottom here. This is support. It's that simple, support. You have more support right here, this whole cluster. So keep an eye on this. So we are going to spike down, and then that's going to be it. But what we want to keep an eye on, this is the same as the S&P 500. A lot lower, we have a lower gap that needs to get filled. So this is eventually going to be the target, okay? But we're going to get a bounce up in the meantime and make a lower high. So that's basically what it's going to come down to. So that's what we got to keep an eye on. So we're going to get the bounce off of this, but eventually, if we take it, that's the hourly. So let's throw this into a monthly real quick. All right, so you're coming up here. Here's our gap line. All right. So what we want to do is come down and hit this. Let's turn it to a daily. You might be able to see it a little bit better. All right, so on the daily, you see the gap right here. We have the 50-day moving average. So I was using the wrong one before, but you have the double bottom support in this area right here, and the 50-day moving average right here, and it's getting very oversold. It's at 44. So long term, what we want to do is make a higher low. Okay, so if you see you had the double top, you had this top and this top, no triple top here, but lower high. So we want this to come down, tag the 420, the 4,257, and then pop back up and then close this gap and then come back down again. That's what we're looking for. So if we can reverse the trend in the market, this is where the longer term targets are going to take place. So that's what we need to definitely keep an eye on. IWM is pretty much in trouble though. This thing, once it broke that 120, like I was saying on the video, we had that uptrend line, and once that pierced that line, this thing was in serious trouble, and it really, it has that support, had that support right here off the trend, and that didn't work. Today it really fell out of it, and it's very, it's getting to the oversold point. But there are 2 points now that you want to look at for support. You want to look here at this cluster, okay? That's going to be support. But if we go down and fill the gaps, we have this here. But my target on this one is the same thing. If you notice right here, we have a gap. The SPY, the NASDAQ, IWM, the Russell, we have these gaps right all close together. So we're going to come in and get down to this, okay? And that's where we're going to consolidate before we start making our move higher. So, but we are going to get dead cat bounces in the middle of this, and that's all it is, oversold bounces. So they're going to make they're going to make lower highs and reverse it until we get a new foundation, all right? And I would suspect if you look at the Dow on the monthly, our actual support is going to be, let me crank this in here, our actual support, and after all these little bounces and everything's going to take place, and we're going to hold the uptrend still, but we're going to get down here to the middle Bollinger Band somewhere in this area, 15.4, 15.5, somewhere in that area. But expect a nice bounce in the meantime, because it's going to happen. And but we're just going to make a lower high. You can see the monthly is reversed. We're going to come down. It's that simple. So plan for it. You can be with us every day, and we plan for it. We trade it accordingly. It's a great time. Join us over at milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com. I hope this video helps everybody in planning for the next trade sessions, and we will see you tomorrow in live chat. Listen, $700 for a lifetime. That's it. If you want to do it per month, it's $50 a month to be in the chat room. That's it, $50 a month. Register today. Click on the link for the on the video. It's that simple. We'll see you there. Have a great night, everyone.